Hey, just want to do a quick review and go over of the 500 piece master socket set from Mastercraft Maximum that you can pick up at Canadian Tire. It goes on sale for $600 now and then. I think it's regular 700 or 800, but it's a pretty complete set. The reason I'm getting this is I've been running a service truck for a while, and so I haven't been using my toolbox, and all my good tools went in there. But now that I got the shop, it's time to fill this guy back up again. And after a couple years of no use, like, she's getting pretty neglected, so it's time to spruce it up. But yeah, it's a really extensive set for the for the $600 you pay, and that's Canadian too, so that's less than $500 US. It comes with, a breaker bar, which no one does. They just grab a longer ratchet. But it comes with the 3/8 extensions, 3/8 wobble, which is nice, 1/4 inch flex, 1/4 inch extensions, 1/2 inch extensions, 3/8 solid and flex, and 1/2 inch ratchet. And the ratchets for Mastercraft Maximum and their ratcheting wrenches are made by Gear Wrench. So this will be that 90 tooth gear wrench head that's pretty sweet. They're really low profile, and honestly, these are one of my favorite ratchets. Like, the Gear Wrench, I think are pretty sweet for a middle of the road ratchet, like next to toolbox or tool truck brands. Gear Wrench is probably one of the best ratchets you're gonna find. It comes with your spark plug sockets, your adapters, your bit adapter, and some universal joints. Comes with all your little itty bitty torques, your screwdriver sockets. You got your Robertson, your Phillips, and your blades. That little hex there, that's a 1/8 hex. That one just didn't fit on the next rail. But yeah, you got hex from 1/8 up to 19, so like 3/4. Looks like. I think I got them the metric and the imperial mixed on the same one. For hex, I just go up by actual thickness, not by sizes, because you just kind of grab one, and if it's too small, you put it back. If it's too big, you put it back, grab the next one, right? Yeah, it has all your torques. The smaller one goes down to T20 to T60, and then for the tamper proof, what do we got there? Tamper proof is T50 down to T10 for the tamper proof. So that's pretty good for all those ones. Now for the sockets, I'll kind of start with the 1/4 inch here. These are pretty complete sets. Like, so for your, and I'll just start, I kind of color coded them. I got these cheap rails, they're not included. I got like all these rails on Amazon for under $100, and I kind of color coded them. I did my 6-point metric in blue, my 12-point metric in green, my 6-point SAE in red, and my 12-point in orange. That way I kind of know what I'm reaching for. But we go from 4 mil to 14 on the shallow, 4 to 13 on the deep for the 12-point, and then 4.5 to 14 for the shallow, and 4 to 14 for the deep for the 6-point, and then to 12.3/8 we go from 6 millimeter to 21 on this rail, and then there's a couple more that didn't fit, so I just got on this one, and that's your 22 and your 24 mil as well. So that's pretty good. And then for shallow 6.3/8 drive, we go from 6 mil to 21, but again, a couple more on here, and I'm gonna guess, yeah, it's at 22 and 24 as well there. Then 3/8 metric deeps, we're going from 8 to 21. And then 1/2 inch shallows, we're going from 11, and then again, so that's to 24 on that rail, but we also have a 27 on the leftover rails. And then the deep for metric 1/2 inch, we're going from 10 to 24. And then for the 1/2 inch 12 points, there's no deep 1/2 inch 12 point. And then, but the shallows, instead of giving you a full set and repeat of those ones, they just continue off where the 3/8 left off. So for the 1/2 inch, they just go, so 24 for the 3/8, and then we go 25 to 30, with some skips, because I think they just give you the common sizes for those ones. And then over to SAE. Oh, and then here I'll just show it's for the deep 12 points for metric and SAE. They both fit onto one rail, so that's how I did it. We're going from 10 mil to 18 mil for the metric, and we're going 3/8 to 3/4 for the SAE. And then for the 1/4 inch, we're going from 5/32 to 9/16. I like that when 1/4 inch go to 9/16. I wish the metric went to 15. And then for the deeps, I think same thing. Sorry, I gotta pop that one off. Yeah, we're going, 5/32 to 1/2 inch for the deep. Then for the 6 point, we're going 5/32 to 9/16. Same thing. And this one, we're going, 5/32 to 9/16 for the 1/4 inch SE 6 point. And then shallow, we're going 5/16 to 1 inch. And then again, the 1/2 inch, just continue on from there. So, but it picks up at 1 inch, which is kind of nice. And then that goes up to 1.25 inches for the 12 point 1/2 inch shallows. I think we were on to the 6 points next. Got 1/4 to 15/16. And then for the 3/8 deep, we're going from 1/4 to 7/8. That's kind of like most sets you get are either going to be 15/16 or 3/8 to 7/8. So I like how they went all the way down to 1/4 inch, because there is sometimes where, if you're doing hose clamps, stuff like that, and you want to throw this on your electric ratchet, it's nice. Also, I do like how the deeps, like the smaller sizes aren't super, super deep. They're almost like the length of a mid-length socket. So it's kind of nice that they give you a good array of depths. And for the 1/2 inch shallow, we're going from 3/8 up to 1.16 inches there. And then we also have, the 1 inch for the 3/8, and then 1 1/8 inches for the 1/2 inch. And then for the deep 1/2 inch, we're going from 7/16 up to 1 inch. So yeah, it's a pretty pretty extensive coverage for all your chrome sockets. Like, there's not much else a guy would need, especially if you're a beginner or someone just starting out. This set will rock you for your entire apprenticeship before you'd even have to bother upgrading. And they are lifetime warranty at Canadian Tire. They did change their warranty, so depending on the Canadian Tire and the manager on hand, you can't just walk in and get one anymore, which really sucks. They order one in for you and then call you when it's there, so you have to go get it the next day or something like that. And if you live in town, that's not so bad, but I'm 30 minutes from the next Canadian Tire, and you can't just call them to order it either. You have to go in with it, and then you have to wait till it comes in and go back. So I'm not a big fan on their warranty anymore. starting out, it was great because I used to get Canadian Tire stuff all the time because I could just walk in with it and they'd open up a set, or if they had an individual, they'd give me an individual and I'd walk out and that was it. But now they may ask for proof of purchase. So if you're a member at Canadian Tire, you can just give them your phone number and stuff. But if not, hang on to the receipt. I don't know. I'm not a fan of that. But they're still a pretty decent tool and they're cheap, like for what they are. The ratchet wrenches is a nice addition to this set because ratchet wrenches on their own can be pretty expensive. And they're the ones that they're made by Gear Wrench is who they get to make them. So they're a pretty decent, they're a really good mid-range one. So for the SAE stubbies, we're going from 3/8 to 3/4. For the longs, we're going from 11/32 to 3/4. And for the flex heads, we're going from 3/8 to 3/4. And the SAE, there's no skips on the SAE, which is nice. The metrics, on the other hand, there is quite a few skips, and it's weird because we go from 10 to 18, but they didn't give us the 17, and they didn't give us the 11 on this one. Which the 11, I don't really care because you could just use a 7/16. It's the exact same. But then on the straights, it starts at a 9, which I don't think I've ever used 9mm anything. So if you have and you know an application for it, let me know. And then we get the 11, but then they skip the 14, and then this one they skip the 16. So the 14 I use a lot. 16 I use quite a bit on the Caterpillars and the heavy equipment side. And then for the ratcheting, we start at 10 again, skips the 11, whatever. Then we got the 14, the 15, skips the 16 again. But then the weird one of this one is it skips the 18, and this is the only one that has the 19. Which the 19 I'm not really missing, because same thing as the 11, you could just use a 3/4 inch. But, so there's some skips, but still getting a lot there. And then you get, your little sets of these little tiny itty bitty micro wrenches. I don't know, I don't think I've ever used these. I've had a few sets that come in other kits and I've never used them. And then they fluff up the kit, with quite a few bits and nut drivers, and then this little socket driver where the handle feels pretty cheapy. Like this is probably like I'm not even sure who they get to make this, but it is the extension version, which is nice. So yeah, this is a really complete kit. This is a big time recommendation for any apprentice in Canada because we don't have access to Harbor Freight up here. So like the equivalent of this would be the Harbor Freight Quinn Master set. I think is quite comparable to this. But yeah, like if you're like starting out, or if you just want, like I said, like a second set of tools for me that I'm not going to use as much as my daily regular ones in the service truck, right? Just for when I am in the shop. Yeah, this is a great kit. The one thing, and like I've mentioned in other videos, how I judge the quality of sockets, this is just one way to do it, is the chroming. If it goes up and then into the well, I don't really like that because it'll cause chipping over time. Where you can see, it's weird, some of them are, and then you get down to certain size, and then they're not. See how the chrome goes all the way down in. And then the shallows, it'll be some of the smaller ones, or it'll skip here or there. Like, you can see this one isn't, that one is, that one is, it's like, so like, it's not a deal breaker, but if you do, over time, as it wears on the inside of the well, it'll start flaking the chrome and chipping the chrome up, and your sockets, the chipped chrome sockets are a throwaway. Like they'll snip your little fingers, right? Like examples, some better ones. Like here's like Gray Tools, which is a fantastic Canadian-made company, and you can see the chroming stops the edge and doesn't go into the well of the sockets all the way down to the bottom. And then same thing, I think one of the best mid-range brands you can get is Ultra Pro or Carlisle is what it's called in the States, from Napa. I think they're a fantastic one. And then for Napa's warranty, there's a Napa across the street from me, and I can just walk in and pick it up, and if they don't have it, I get it the next day. And like I said, it's right across the street. So, and then cheap sockets, like these are Power Fist from Princess Auto. You can see they're fully submersed in chrome, the entire socket is, right? So the Canadian Tire Mastercraft Maximum line, I'd say they're better than Princess Auto. They're not as good as Napa, but I mean, Napa, that set of 3/8 sockets is like $70 list price, and you get all of this for $600. Like that, like this combined with like a cheap tool cart or a cheap toolbox, and you're pretty much set up. Like you get this, and you get a set of screwdrivers and a set of pliers, and maybe a couple cordless tools, and that's all you're gonna need for the first year of your apprenticeship, right? So yeah, great set. I recommend it for anyone. Like I said, I don't think it's gonna be a lifetime set for anyone, but it is definitely good enough for the hobbyist or someone that wants a backup set, or again, someone starting out. Apprentices, don't waste your money on tool payments. It's not going to get you anywhere in life, especially on something like sockets, where it honestly does not make a huge difference. But all right, thanks for watching.